the list of Arsenal players that they're targeting to choose one to lead their line next season in competition with a player called Victor Gyökeres is growing wider and wider every other day that really passes by. And today we are coming in through with Junior Kroupi, French international, not a French international yet. He's a French born, 19 years of age, and he has gone ahead to catch the eyes of many in the Premier League because of his performances in his debut season in the Premier League. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? I know you're watching us from my group by the names of Rokani and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having pure fun. So please continue to subscribe to this channel to see to it that all goes on well as planned. So here at this particular juncture, I would like to welcome you here as we bring you our second video of the day. Remember, we are going to be talking about Junior Kroupi. Then from Junior Kroupi, we'll obviously get to Frank Lampard in there for you. And obviously, Gabriel Magalhães record-breaking shirt sales. Guys, I tell you, Arsenal fans just went ahead to really give this guy relief. And I tell you what, this time around, these fans have acted differently to this guy. And this is where I call upon you guys to go into the lower left bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel in here for you. So we want to hit 30,000 subscribers and we are on the road to that side because you're having 29 subscribers now. 30 is our next target, and that's what we are seeing in here onto the Rokani Media Football. And it's you guys that have gone ahead to make us what we are right about now. So we do have a story coming in through from a side called E.D. Aarons. He writes for the Guardian Sport. He told us that Bournemouth's early Junior Kroupi is on Arsenal's shortlist of summer transfer targets. Have you heard that? Summer transfer targets. Arsenal's early Junior Kroupi is among the players that Arsenal wants to sign. Then later, we got a story from Sacha Tavorielli, who told us that Arsenal are keen on signing Bournemouth's early Junior Kroupi there for you. So the interest is genuine, I tell you. It's a genuine interest there for you. And Arsenal are so much interested in the player. Now, who is Junior? Who is Junior? Who is Junior Eric Kroupi? He has very many names. He's called Early Junior Eric Anatole Rainier Kroupi, French professional footballer who plays as a forward for Bournemouth. He was born on the 23rd of June, 2006. As we speak right now, he's 19 years of age, and 20 days from now, he'll be turning 20. He comes in through, he was born in Lorient, that is in France, and he is playing for the French under-21 team as a forward, and he's 1.7 meters tall as a player, He signed for Bournemouth, right? He signed for Bournemouth in the summer of 2025 for £12 million from Lorient in there for you. And he is one of those players that has gone ahead, obviously, have a very good debut season in the Premier League. And in 33 games of the Premier League, has gone ahead to score 13 goals in there for you. That is Junior Early Kroupi. You understand? So that is the player that Arsenal is hugely interested in. Now, in Lorient, He started playing for them in 2023-2024 season. And by then, they were still in League One. And that means he was, because if at all he's going to be making 20 this year, 2023, if he was born in 2006, that means by then he was 17 years of age. And he played 30 games in the League One. He scored 5 goals and put out 3 assists. Now, the following season when he was 18 years of age, he went ahead to obviously score 22 goals when they went to League Two because they were relegated, and they sold him £12 million when they are relegated. So it shows you how big this player is. And this goes to everyone who was like, how can United pay £34 million for Ederson, who is a player who has 1 year left on his contract? I tell you, this player known as Junior Kroupi, he was sold for £12 million from a French League Two side. You understand? So certain players are special in their own way, and it shows you that if Bournemouth spent £12 million on this player, he is indeed a good player. And indeed, he has come in through, and he has not gone ahead to disappoint at the club of Bournemouth. Now, we go to what we call his attributes as a player. What makes him that special caliber of a player? They've told us that pace and agility, possesses explosive speed, excellent acceleration, and low center of gravity. So he is fast and he accelerates very well. Frame, standing at 1.79 meters, he boasts a strong build and aids in holding up the ball under pressure, meaning that he's good at really holding that ball and receiving it. Technical skills, to me, this speaks volumes. Shooting and finishing. Known as a true sharpshooter, he has brilliant ball striking capabilities, excels in one-touch finishes, and scores frequently from outside the penalty area. Have you heard that? He is a true sharpshooter, meaning that he shoots outside of the tennis box area a lot. He's brilliant when striking the ball, and he is really one of those who excels in one-touch finishes, like giving him that ball and you just expect him to obviously put out a surgical finish onto it. You just tell Eli Junior Kroupi, that's the ball, and he obviously nets it back of the net. Dribbling, demonstrates excellent close control and basic technique, making him a major threat on the counter attack. Now, for example, in the game of PSG, if Arsenal had a forward like Junior Kroupi, I tell you, he would have gone ahead to obviously do something, because he's that kind of person who gets that ball and risks himself into the area of the opponent. You understand? So that is something special about this guy. And tactical and playing traits. Link-up play. Frequently drops deep to connect the midfield and the attack, effectively transitioning play. Now, he's good on the ball. He'll drop deep and really link the defense to the midfield to the attack, and obviously drift either to the left, right, and so on and so forth. So he's really one of those players that is at 19, but things he's doing are of players who are really of huge experience, who are almost coming to the prime of their careers. Then, pressing and IQ, possesses high tactical intelligence, contributing significantly to defensive duties and quickly pressing opponents upon losing possession. So, he's a pressing monster. And in this game of football, one of the characters you need to obviously apply into your game first, you have to be a pressing monster. I tell you, if you are not a pressing monster, you have no space in this modern game of football. That is it. He is a pressing monster, and that is what makes him one of the best teenagers in the Premier League. And tactical intelligence. When you talk about tactical intelligence, it's interpreting the tactics that the manager is going to have to give you, and then you put them into practicability, into action, and you exactly execute them as the manager is going to have to tell you. Because some players take long to obviously break down what we call the tactics that the managers have gone ahead to give them. You understand? But this boy is so talented that that's what he does easily. You understand? He does that easily, and that's what makes him a special kind of lad in here onto the Rokani Media Football. So that is Junior Kroupi there for you. Now we get to his vast ability, being a versatile player. He can play as a center forward. He can play as a number 10. He can also play as a left attacking midfielder. That is the guy. Kroupi, Junior Eric Anatoly Reina. Very special kind of player. Now, he signed a contract until 2030. And this contract means a lot. If he still has 4 years left on his contract, that means he won't go for cheap if at all Arsenal really want to get him from a team known as Bournemouth in there for you. But he's still young, and you can obviously spend huge on a player like that, because if for Fernandes, Matthias Fernandes, they are calling in for how much? 60 to 80 million pounds, meaning that even Junior Kroupi might be in that range. And now we get to what we call the price. Now, they are telling us that he's being priced 80 million pounds. Now, I don't know whether Lorient has a sell-on clause for this deal, but if it's not there and they sell him for 80 million pounds to Arsenal, they'll be making a profit of close to 68 million pounds for this beautiful young player. I tell you, that is business. That is real business. But does Arsenal need this young lad? I tell you, let's all admit, there are players who come in through when they are really special. That is it. When you look at where the deal of Julian Alvarez is heading to, you know, there is no way I can obviously come out and say that they shouldn't get in this guy first, because unless otherwise, there is a surety that Arsenal is going to get in Julian Alvarez. But if they are not sure in their board, I think this is a guy to get. He's young and is obviously going to be an understudy for Gyökeres, but he's a better player than Gyökeres. That is it. And he'll come in through at Arsenal knowing that I'm going at Arsenal, I'm not going to start, I'm going to be second fiddle. But if I utilize my opportunities, right, I will get there. Because every attribute you want from Julian Alvarez, this guy has it. And this is the risk that Man City took when they went to River Plate and signed Julian Alvarez for 20 million euros. You get? And he was an understudy for a player called Erling Haaland, you know? So, Arsenal can do the same. That is it. Arsenal can go ahead and do the same business. You understand? And what business can they do? Obviously, they can come in through and obviously get in Junior Kroupi. You understand? Because he is a player who is going to turn into a world-class player. That is it. If you see his skills, the way he really shields, you know, the way, because he's almost like a Julian Alvarez, because Man City had a lead forward and they brought in a young player. And I think by that time he was just, was it 20 years? I think it was 20 years when he came in through at Man City. That was 2022, 2023. You understand? So he came in through when he was young, and because the team was at the level of making every player look good, this guy went ahead to excel, and it was not even Premier League proven. So if Arsenal is being delayed or dilly-dallied or being not wanted by Julian Alvarez, why not go in for this guy? I know I've already said that Arsenal needs complete players, but at this juncture, I think we should give it a try. Arsenal should give it a try. You know, 80 million pounds, sign this player, because 80 million pounds, that's 100 million euros. They can't obviously get you a player from Atletico Madrid that you want. But you bring in this guy, you know, he comes off the bench, he'll do the needful and he'll lead the line when Gyökeres needs a rest. And he's a different type of striker. And this is the number 9 that Arteta has always wanted to have, you know. He wants that number 9 who is really roving, you know, who is not static like Gyökeres, like he only helps you when he's really leading the line, you understand? But for Junior, he drops deep, gets that ball, you know, link up play good. You know, he can really take off players and even create assists. He shoots from everywhere. He's a threat to every defender, you know, and he's unpredictable. You know, that's the striker that I think Arsenal should obviously go in for. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but I really do believe that it's high time Arsenal went ahead to obviously get in this guy, because I do believe that he's a special kind of a lad that can really make wonders at the club of Arsenal. So we wait and see. He's not an injury-prone player. That's what you should know. He's not an injury-prone player, and he's a player who is always fit. You understand? Now, the big question is, can Arsenal cough that amount of money and bring in a youngster like this and forego the deal of Julian Alvarez? If I'm Arsenal, I forego the deal of Julian Alvarez and I go in for this guy. 33 games, 13 goals at Bournemouth. That means at Arsenal, he can get you 20 goals, because Arsenal will get you more chances, and he will obviously play with no pressure at the club of Arsenal. That is it. If we're going to head to see Hugo Ekitike coming in through at Liverpool at almost the same amount of money, and you see what he was going to head to turn into. He scored very many goals in his debut season at Liverpool because they trusted him and he did the needful. With a proper preseason at Arsenal, if they sign him early enough, I think he can turn into a season-saving solution for the club of Arsenal, because Gyökeres has never had a preseason with the club of Arsenal, and it really delayed how he obviously gets to play with his other Arsenal players. But you saw to it that when he really integrated with them, magic started to happen. Now throw in this Kroupi guy at Arsenal, preseason for the club of Arsenal, and you'll see the needful that will obviously come in through at the club of Arsenal. So for me, it's a yes. I would sign him for £80 million and not go in for £100 million plus a player for Julian Alvarez. I would go in for 80 for this guy. That is it. Now, let's leave that at that, because I've gone ahead to explain everything. If there is any question, you can go into the comment section, obviously drop me that question. I'll come in here and obviously respond to it very well. Sammy Mikbo has told us that, all had told us some time back, 28th May, that Frank Lampard is now an option to become the new Crystal Palace manager should Areola decline. So Areola has gone to Liverpool, and now that makes it visible that Crystal Palace is obviously going to go in for Frank Lampard, right? Now, if they're going in for Frank Lampard, he has the Premier League experience, managed Chelsea, managed Everton, though he got sacked on all of the jobs, but has gone ahead to promote a team known as Coventry. And if I told him Frank Lampard, yes, for job safety, I stay at Coventry. But him being a brave man always, he can be like, let me go to Crystal Palace. I like London. I like to be in London in there for you, because for the entire career of him playing football, he played in London, not until he went to the US. Then after leaving the US, he came in through and really played for City in there for you. That is Frank Lampard for you. And for job safety, you stay at Coventry. But you can also flip the coin and really ask, haven't managers who have gone ahead to promote teams got sacked in the Premier League when the results are not coming? Obviously, they've gotten sacked. So he might be like, Coventry might not be having the budget to obviously see it stay in the league. But Crystal Palace, they are playing in the UEFA Europa League also. They do have players. They do have a budget for me to obviously get in players and really gather them and put them together and really put out a work that everyone will appreciate. You understand? And that is a team known as Crystal Palace. So Lampard might be the next manager of Crystal Palace. Let's wait and see. But for Coventry, I think it will maybe save them a little bit, because they might go in for a much more experienced Premier League manager. that is not having a job. And there are very many who can come up and obviously play survivor football and keep the guy in the league. You understand? So that's exactly what you're talking about. And Frank Lampard, if he comes in through at Crystal Palace, I'll obviously let you know. And remember, Crystal Palace has been managed by Glasner, winning them their first trophy in their entire existence history. And that was the FA Cup at first. He won the Community Shield, and this season he has gone ahead to win them the Conference League, taking them to what we call the UEFA Europa League. So that is really good for Crystal Palace, and that is really music to the ears of the fans of Crystal Palace. But if Lampard goes to Crystal Palace, there are standards that Glasner has gone ahead to set. You get? There are standards that Glasner has gone ahead to set, and those standards have to be maintained by a one Frank Lampard. So he needs to know that, right? So that is it for Frank Lampard in there for you. And I don't know what decision he will make, but he's too brave. He has a lion heart, and I know he'll obviously go for Crystal Palace because he knows to it that he has to go where the green grass is. For long, he feels like there is something he wants to prove to the world in his managerial career in there for you. So that is it for Frank Lampard. Now, having gone ahead to have some good 120 minutes on the pitch, Gabriel Magalhães went ahead to obviously miss out on a penalty. And everyone thought that English fans would have gone ahead to go in, for him. You understand? But guess what happened? They went ahead to obviously reciprocate, positive energy and positive vibe. Arsenal fans, what you did is really very respectful for this man, because he has been there, he has defended, he has died for this club, he has died for this badge, and you know that he is the only Arsenal defender in the Champions League team that was chosen, the team of the season in there for you. And what you guys did, as you see it on the screen, is really out of this world. And that is Ghana Blog has told us that shirt sales for Gabriel Magalhães increased by 350% after his penalty miss against PSG in the USL final, becoming the top-selling name printed on Arsenal shirts over the weekend. At one point, sales of his shirt doubled those of any other shirt. You understand? I like this. So, Arsenal fans, what you did was really out of this world. And I think where Gabriel Magalhães is, he feels safe and he knows that he's loved. He's going to go to the World Cup and obviously play the football. After playing the football, he'll come up and obviously say, I'm back to represent for the club of Arsenal. Your fans have gone ahead to make me great. I'm not regretting anything in what went ahead to happen in there for you. So Gabriel Magalhães, Big Gabby, is very much excited. And I think the message has gone on well to the side of Big Gabby and the other Arsenal people. So there are very many Arsenal players who have fallen culprits, by the way, and Arsenal fans are so much fond of doing this. When they signed Noni Madueke, you know what they did. English fans, you know what they did to Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, and Jadon Sancho for missing out penalties in the Euros. And they've done so much of this, English fans. You remember when England was playing against Portugal and Wayne Rooney was red carded and Ronaldo was the influencer of the red card. They were like attacking Cristiano Ronaldo and they were like, don't come back to the Premier League. And by the time he was playing for Manchester United, you understand. So when you look at all that, Arsenal fans have gone ahead to redeem Gabriel Magalhães. And deep down in his heart, I don't think he still gets those nightmares of missing a penalty. But if they had gone ahead not to do this, he would have gone ahead not to have a settled heart. But as we speak right now, he's having a settled heart and he's like, I'm good to go and let me go play in the World Cup. After the World Cup, I'll get back to Arsenal and represent to the fullest. Thank you guys for watching it through. Rokani David is my name. And you guys are great. And you've been here for all over 26 minutes. I've gone ahead to record this one, second video, long enough because Junior Kroupi has a lot to say about. You understand? So, I think he's the first teenager to obviously, has he scored? There is a record that he set that I didn't obviously do research about and obviously talk about it in here, you know? So, thank you. Continue to subscribe. And Rokani David signs out for now. Not so? I'm going to be seeing you later. In the next 2 hours, we're going to be back breaking down more and more and more and more stories, especially transfers. And I know big stories are really dropping in here, and you guys are hugely interested in them. I'm out.